Hello, all greetings. This is Gillesmansillon. I thought I wanted to come and say hello, wish you a wonderful, wonderful new year. Today is the new year from a galactic standpoint, from the Maya. Always celebrated New Year on July 26th, for we're starting a new cycle, a new cosmic cycle. So I wish you a wonderful year. Yesterday, since it was a day out of time, I was trying to find pleasure, and I was looking for a way to celebrate the end of the year. So I ran all day after futilities. At the end of the day, I understood. I went back to my painting. I was like, whoa! It's like, whoa! What did I spend all these days spending in futility? But today is a brand new day, brand new energy, and we are opening there is the Sirius star that is rising, that will be opening to the Lion's Gate in a few days on August 8th. So this is a very magical time, magical period of celebration, of awakening. There is all kinds of new codes that are being offered for healing. And we have exactly the same cards, almost the same card as the one in French. So the past is balance. The situation now is resting, and the future is doubt. In essence, what we our spirit, our soul, will always offer when we doubt. It knows our strengths and our weaknesses, and everything that's from the past, that is considered as things that we want to let go. Spirit will re-offer the possibility, the opportunity to continue that cycle until we're sure, because at first I was like, you're encouraging me to stay in my comfort zone in the past, so I'm going to continue doing that. But in essence, it's because we have to eliminate all doubt from this possibility, at which point we'll be able to fix up, we'll be able to repair anything that's been still suffering within ourselves. What we're working on right now is work. Is finding the appropriate work, to do the work on ourselves and to find the work that brings us joy. And the outcome will be justice, it will be divine order, it will be a brand new beginning that is right before us. So I hope this resonated with you. I'm going to speak about a few ideas that are very different, but they're all talking about this inner process of transformation that we're going through. And first I want to talk about the beloved whales. Everybody knows what a whale is. It's those big mammals that live in the ocean. And every time I see them on TV, I send love and light. I reflect my own love and light inside of them to say that they are loved, because some people do not respect the whales. For the whales are essentially, they are extraterrestrial. They come from a star nation called Canopus. And in a sense, they are 8-dimensional beings. They are not just one beings. They are a collective of soul that lives within each body. There is a collective body. That's why they have such a big body. They need all those space for all those beings to become one within them. So in essence, for those, I'm talking about those things for those who are receptive to those ideas. Some people will just say, well, no, that's just fish. It's like if they go, so we're gonna fish the fish. But they're guardians of a higher dimension, just as the dolphins. But dolphins are individualized consciousness. They're very ascended beings, but they're very free in their sexual practice. Dolphins. Where whales are more, they're very different frequency, but they cohabit very well together, and they have a very magical means of communication. Their songs is wonderful. One day, decades ago, I was receiving a massage one day, and the person who was doing the massage was playing the song of the whale. She was doing the massage, and for some reason my mind was open. I was catching all the communication. They were complaining about this pollution. They were complaining about this. They were talking about the children. They were talking about the migration. They were like, everything was processing through my mind, beyond my thoughts. I was understanding all that, and so it's very interesting. For they're very intelligent beings. They should be loved and respected. So send your love to all animals on the planet. We live in this magnificent world. We're always discovering new forms of life on this planet that we've been inhabited for so long. But we're discovering how beautiful nature is, how magical it is. And right now there's big change of climates. There's some animals that will be leaving the planet, new will come, but some of them are leaving, and so you want to send them love, so when they leave as a species, they know that they've been loved, they've been appreciated. Send love to all the wildlife on the planet, love and respect of the companionship. They were created as companion to men. And so we want to stop all the hunting of the wildlife. It's completely unnecessary. Those trophies that men need to validate themselves is completely unnecessary. But So send your love and light to use your intention to, when it feels right, to do that. For understanding also that we're always at the right place at the right time. There can never be any situation that's not right. It's the philosopher Spinoza that already revealed that in the 17th century in this book, The Ethic, that life cannot be any different than it is at any moment. It is infinitely perfect. There is nothing that is not perfect. Sometimes we do not see that, but the problem is that we do not have the right, we're always in the right place, but we're not always in the right angle to perceive the lesson that life is teaching us. For once we accept the perfection of life and we look at it from the right angle, we get the lesson and we get free from the challenge, from the lesson. And so we want to take care of ourselves first before asking for a mate or anything. We want to take care of our life, to take care of what is essential within ourselves. For the source of all problems on the planet is not humanity, it is the human ego. The ego has to become a servant, not the master. It comes down to the idea that the ego wants to lead, and it will. But when it comes to important decisions, the ego subsides and allows the soul to take the control, the spirit to make the right choice. And so for the human ego is the source of all the toxicities on the planet, and it is all the natural catastrophes and the radical change in climates and the difficulty that human lives are because of the actions of humans, the negative emotion that's poured into the waters of the earth. The water covers the earth, and the water needs to be cleansed, needs to be send your love to all the water and to the water within yourself. For we are made of water, so our emotion is the manifestation of the water element within ourselves. There is those elemental beings, namely Ondines, who are the cleanser. They cleanse everything. We should have gratitude for all the elemental that are for the elemental do not understand the lack of respect that humanity has in relationship to their own magnificent planet. This planet is so extraordinary. There's so much diversity and beauty. For the earth is suffering because of advanced technology. Humans have put chemicals everywhere. They think that the ocean is a garbage dump. It's like in France, I was watching on TV, those people they say the nuclear waste that comes out of our factory, we don't put it in the drinking water. So it's okay because we're throwing everything in the water. So it's okay. There is really no problem because we're not putting it in drinking water. But all those things is completely unacceptable to think the ocean is a garbage dump, and the ocean can integrate a lot, but there is so much pollution that is being transmuted through the food chain as well. And so it is we're gonna have to become responsible. For technology is good, but it's like a double-edged sword. We have to be responsible. And drinking clean water is the key to mental health. A lot of people are not going insane because they're not drinking clean water. And also for essentially the most important pollution of the ocean comes from certain rivers in Africa and Asia. Those need to be filtered. We have to stop this pollution of the ocean. And stop polluting our body as much as possible, to change a habit, to be forgiving also. For it's not about blame, it's about being more aware and acting to change those things. For if we want to change the world, we only have to change ourselves. For this matrix is being built and rebuilt and reconstructed by the collective thoughts. We have to cleanse up the emotion, our emotional body. For most people are afraid of love, afraid of giving love, afraid of receiving love, and that is the blockage that needs to. We're going to work on accepting the love of Source, the love of the heart, each and every day. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Akash. Sip. If I hope those ideas resonate with you, I don't mean to be severe or critical of human society. We need to wake up and trust that we do have the power to transmute the energies. But we have to make the collective, the majority of human beings becoming aware of their own power of creation and to accept, to change, to compromise certain of their industrial habits in order to be more in the loving respect. Although the world of chemicals and those advanced technology, even on the electromagnetic field, are not necessarily what is needed at this point. And if we go too far, the Gallactics will be called to intervene. be forced to intervene. The highest wisdom for us today is the monk or the nun. It's about deactivating those valves of celibacy or those valves of poverty, yet keeping our energy together. What we need to understand is the vessels. It's about navigating. It's about going on to adventures. It's about Spirit says that we'll soon be able to navigate, to go back on. We all had lifetimes where we were explorers. For exploration, going through the boats in the past was very different. Now there is all kinds of comforts, because for technology there are also some really good aspects. There is nothing black or white. It's just the way we use it. And so those vessels, it's like so it's a sense of adventure. What we need to do is wisdom. It is becoming wise. It's allowing this wisdom to become dominant within ourselves. And the outcome is the priestess or the great priest. It's about returning ourselves to this great power. I'm going to comment briefly about this. Is that I'm wearing today this little ring. It's a beautiful ring. It was a man rings originally, and this little green stone we have friends that are specialized in precious stone, and we made analysis. We don't know what it is. It's a mysterious stone. It's not an emerald. I don't think it's a diamond, but it's a stone that is completely unknown to the catalogs of stones. And this ring was originally I inherited from my mother. That she passed away, and so I had it, but I had it inside a box. And today I thought I would wear it, and she inherited it from a friend of us, George, who was with some greetings, who passed away, who was a master who was a channel, a mystic, a shaman, and when I wear this ring, it feels like there is all kinds of energy that one goes through my body, and it's like, but it's not interfering with my own spirituality. It's like, when the Lord of the Ring, this special ring that gives you certain power, and so it's like it's not like I'm going to wear it for this beautification, vanity sort of thing, but it's like it's very although it's pretty, it's okay to wear jewelry, but it's like it feels like I'm going to see how I integrate this additional aspect of energy that is being channeled through this ring. So it is kind of interesting. I wanted to say that death does not bring salvation. If somebody who's like very enlightened dies, there is no, the person reached the upper planes of the fourth dimension or the fifth dimension, they return into the light. But most people that are atheists or that are completely in dualistic consciousness, the only thing we learn from death is that life goes on, but we usually emerge, be reassembled in the astral plane in a dimension that is appropriate, where we're facing the same problems and situations that we were before. So it's good to always, for many years, I knew that it's important to send your love and light, assistance if you can, as the angels, to assist the dearly departed, all those who are passing on. For once we pass on, we know that the true nature of life is love, and so we want to assist them. We want to send them angels. There's usually an angel that when somebody dies, to say, do you want to come see God? But most people are atheists, who are like, no, I don't want to. It's like starting to fight with the angels to say, and so they low down in frequency. So we want to assist them to forgive themselves for everything, so they can discover the freedom. That's why they say in the Catholic prayer, they say that may their soul be in peace, because the life goes on, and we have to face all the creation that we did before we are able to reincarnate on the planet. So always send good thoughts and loving thoughts to anybody who dies. If you know them, you don't know them, you hear somebody's dead, just send a good thought. It always helps, it always assists. It's important to assist the soul that are transitioning into higher planes. For today is the Galactic New Year, so it's a very important time. Yesterday the time stands still, and between now and let's say August 11th, like 3 days after the Lionsgate portals, there is this great deal of power, this great deal of magic. It's the white wizard, there's the energy of magic. This energy of magic is not something we create cause and effect. It is something that goes through us. We do not control the magic of spirit. The white magic is just a power that goes through us and makes things possible. We do not even, our intention is just to be the purest manifestation of that magic, but without having to control neither the cause or the effect. We do not control the outcome, we trust. And so this is it's not something we create, it's something we're just instrumental in revealing that. I wanted to say also that we don't need to ask permission from anyone to do anything, as long as the only person you want to consult with is your God self, is your inner self, your inner guide. Because we are really moving from a linear three-dimensional being, the world of senses, to the fourth dimensional quantum reality that will lead us to the fifth dimension, the fully integrated self. I was watching a movie yesterday on TV about the Egyptian and people. It seems like contemporary scientists are very different. They don't really understand this Egyptian civilization. It was far more integrated, far more advanced, far more peaceful than what they think. And so they did not have a cult to death. Their cult was not about death. It was about immortality. It was not about spending their whole time thinking about death. It was using their life to prepare themselves for becoming immortal beings. And Anubis, the god of death, was not an evil person. It is Metatron, the guardian of the temple, the guardian of the gates. And so now there is this gates is opening the halls of the Amenti, the memories of the Akash, so we can integrate that as much as we can and free ourselves from the cycle of reincarnation. For all the pyramids have been activated and will continue to be activated in order to to initiate this collective grid. For all the pyramids were created with one intelligence. They were all placed in very specific places on the earth, and they all by the same intelligence. They were an extraterrestrial, more advanced civilizations. For an Atlantis, they were using both three-sided pyramid and four-sided pyramids. But after the end of Atlantis, certain pyramids were established to maintain the grid until they can be reactivated and reserve the higher function of the fifth dimensional matrix. For always think of God as the final words, I will say, always think of God as for God we should always think of God. For when you think of God, everything returns to order. You move into God is infinite love, infinite wisdom, and infinite power. And if this is your truest part of yourself, it's God. God is always on your side, always seeking to bring you into this alignment, into this joy, into this freedom. Just the ego's interfering, and do not judge yourself for your ego's interference, but always think of God first as a loving Father. For God is, then always think of God as your inner guide, for God is within you. And then finally, think of God as your best friend, for you are existing within God. But there is nothing to fear from God. All the old dogmas that presented a God of fear is because men were barbarians, and they had no to God. God knew that men would not respond to love, so he had to present. Said, do not be like in the Quran. It says, do not be afraid of men. Be afraid of God. If you do something wrong, it is to God that you will have to answer. And so there is value in understanding that. But God is love primarily, and now we're moving into this age of light. God should be we should connect to God through the potential of communion, through the love frequency to get into ever increasing octaves of love. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to sing a little song. It's called Love. This is called The Woman in Yellow. It's from a portrait from 2006, and this is from my first series in 1990. I made a lot of large paintings. I was living in a big loft in Los Angeles, and this will need to be framed correctly. Well, this one I actually did when I was in vacation in France in 1990 on a blue canvas, and this is all those paintings were like very different in the background, but I always placed text of Confucius, of the Dharma of the Buddha, of Lao Tzu, of the Truth by God, even some Baudelaire and some. So it was always text of other people, but a very powerful significance of text of wisdom that I used in those paintings, and they still hold in time. I think they're still really nice, and they're still very powerful and important. This will be framed. So this song I'm going to sing is called Love. It's a short song from John Lennon. It goes like this. Love is real, real is love. Love is feeling, feeling love. Love is wanting to be loved. Love is touch, touch is love. Love is reaching, reaching love. Love is asking to be loved. Love is you, you and me. Love is knowing we can be. Love is free. Free is love. Love is living. Living love. Love is needing to be loved. Thank you, John Lennon. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and thank you for continuing in your efforts to embody this love, to participate in the construction of this new reality, this new matrix of fifth dimensional, to reconnect to this love, so that we can eventually not convince, but bring everybody else into this alignment of this paradise for all that is before us as a potential. I'm going to pull one more card as a bonus and today is the passion of the red mother, of the wild red mother. So it's about understanding to follow your passion, where your passion are very essential. It is what is the most passionate thing, what brings you the most joy in this moment. Then you follow that, and then you let go of the outcome, but you follow that, and then once you've been all the way through this passionate moment, then you reach a point where you let go and you look at it. What is the next thing that brings me my most passionate experience? And from there, it's like we tune into this ability to bring ourselves into this sphere of complete joy, complete gratitude, complete acceptance of what life, and we create a life, we're getting ready to create a life that is fully free, fully made of joy. Well, thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful new year for this galactic new year. And I will, maybe I'll make a little break, but I will return before the Lion's Gate for sure. Thank you very much. Namaste.